Good afternoon. I'm Matthew Peterson. I'm the owner of Homewatch CareGivers of New Haven, a home health care company that serves the greater New Haven metro area, serving seniors and disabled people, and really anyone who needs help around the house. This is part of the Greater New Haven Senior Partners Program, a group of service providers that service, and not just the elderly, but through the community as a whole, though we do tend to focus on people who are serving the elderly community. As a way to introduce our clients to each other, different service providers to our client base, and just people who are serving the same basic community to each other. With me today is Larry Backus from the Flying Locksmiths, who is, as the name implies, a locksmith. But he does a lot more than just the traditional locksmithing, and I won't say anything else. And Larry, I'll let you describe your business and some of the interesting things that you do.
Well, thank you, Matt. I'd be happy to. We are the Flying Locksmiths, and we got that name in 1946 when a guy named Bill McMiniman came back from World War II. He landed in Boston, and he had no money, but he loved flying, and he wanted to fund his passion. And so he started a locksmithing company up there. Well, they immediately tagged him as the Flying Locksmith, kind of as a poke, right? And so he thought, well, this is great. I'm going to call the company the Flying Locksmiths. And he did, and they became one of the largest locksmithing companies in Boston. And now it's 3 generations later, and his grandsons are running the company. And about 7 years ago, they decided they were going to expand across the country. And so about 5 years ago, I was the 42nd office to open, and I serve all of Southwest Connecticut. We do commercial and residential locksmithing, but no automotive. And I like to say that there's a little saying that we have, it's if it's on the door, we handle it. And that's to say that we do a heck of a lot more than just locks and keys. We do locks and keys, of course, that goes with it. But there's so much more we do. If a door isn't closing properly, we can fix that. If there's some door hardware that breaks, we can fix that. If you need the door to close behind you or not close behind you, we can fix that. And we've done this work for a lot of people, and they're very happy with the results that we give, because I guarantee the results. If I can't fix it, I'll tell you it needs to be replaced. But we don't just replace for the sake of replacing. I often will spend a lot of time with my customers because I'm the expert and they don't know what all is available to them, but I do. And so if I understand their needs, then I can suggest a solution that is in alignment with what they want to have done. And that often means that, I'm offering a less expensive solution than they wanted. I just did that today for a customer. The customer wanted a Medico lock. Some of you may have heard of Medico. It's a very expensive and it's a very high security lock, but it has its limitations. And then we got to talking, why do you want a Medico lock? And he wanted it just because of the brand's reputation for being a good lock. And as we talked about his application, he began to realize he didn't need to spend all that extra money on a Medico lock, that there was other ways to accomplish what he wanted to do. So this is the way I approach my customers and my business. I want the best solution for their needs, and I work very diligently to deliver those solutions.
So one of the things that you and I were talking about a little bit, before we hit the record button, is some of the other things, and even beyond simply locks in terms of cameras and other sorts of security. I deal primarily with senior citizens who really have two senses of, you really have two areas of concern. One is, who's outside my house, and make sure that it's someone that they want to see. But also there's concerns with people who are falling, or somebody's getting into issues within their own home. So I know you have some solutions around those sorts of issues. Can you talk about that for a minute or two?
Absolutely. The security industry is kind of in a transition. It's very interesting. Like you said, the older technology it's 150 years old. Locks and keys and all that is 150 years old. And we do that, and we do it well. But in the 21st century, a lot of locks are being transitioned onto smartphones and other devices like keys, key fobs, or cards. Um, there's, like you said, cameras to surveil, cameras to record. We do all of that work. We do cameras, and we do intercom systems. We do access control. We do automatic doors. If somebody has trouble with their door opening, we can put an automatic door opener on that door so that it will open for them. They won't need to use their arm to open it. So there's a whole host of technologies available beyond locks and keys that we are expert in and can bring to our customers to help them with whatever situation they have.
So a lot of my customers, my end customers, are individuals living in their homes. But of course, the people who are involved in the Senior Partners Program are doctors, medical affiliated people who may need sorts of security within their offices. Obviously, and we have lawyers, accountants, financial planners, sort of the gamut of people. You do as much work in that industrial and commercial as you do in residential, correct?
We actually do more work in commercial and industrial. It's about 90% of my business. But I really like doing residential work too, and I like working for those customers. But yes, the lion's share of what we do is more commercial based. But I'll give you an example of how I work, and it's appropriate for the work that you do, Matt. I got a call from a woman in Danbury a couple of years ago, and she said, "I have a problem with the lock on my door. I can't, it's hanging up on my wheelchair when I try and get in, and I need the lock moved over to the wall. Can you do that?" And I said, "Yes, I can." She said, "Well, come on out and give me an estimate." So I get out there, and she says, "Now, you're the third person coming in, and the other two said it's going to cost thousands of dollars to move my lock from my door to my wall." And I said, "That's correct. That kind of a move would cost that much. But do me a favor first. I want you to demonstrate for me how you go through your door where the lock hangs up on your wheelchair." And she said, "Yeah, I can demonstrate that." So we went out into the hallway. It's a community, so it's kind of like a condominium that she had. So we were in the hallway outside her front door, and there's a keypad lock, and she brings her wheelchair up to the side so that she can punch the code into the keypad. It opens, she gives the door a push, and then she's got to maneuver her wheelchair back and through the door before the door closed on her. And it just closed right before she got to the door to go through. And she said, "See, I can't get through the door." I said, "Is this the problem?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, let's go back into the kitchen, and I want to see if you can do this." So we went back into the kitchen, and I said, "Now, if this door was just open, would you be able to give it a shove to get it to close and latch? And she said, yes, I can do that. And I said, I can solve your problems for a couple $100, because what you have here on your door is some spring hinges that's causing the door to close on you before you can get through the door in your wheelchair. If you can shut it after you go through, we have no problems, and you don't need to move the lock off the door and onto the wall. She was thrilled and saved her thousands of dollars. The problem with the other two contractors is that they did not take the time to fully understand her needs. She said, I want to move the lock from my door to my wall. They said, this is how much it's going to cost to do that. That's not solving a person's problem. That's order taking. Okay. I solve people's problems. I spend the time to find out what's going on and what we have to do to make sure that you get the right solution. Because with those spring hinges, the fact that the lock was on the wall instead of the door would not have made it any easier for her to get through the door after it was open. That door was still going to come crashing down on her wheelchair before she could get through it. That's how I operate. Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, I apologize. I muted myself. Forgot to unmute myself. The perils of the modern age. I think this is great. I definitely, the people I work with, everybody's trying to stay in their homes longer, and having homes that are more accessible, that they feel more comfortable in. Even things like how the doors close. It definitely is things that are all going to help people be more comfortable, be safer in their homes, or wherever they happen to be living. So what's the best way for people to reach out to you?
The best way to reach out to me is via phone. We have a call center that answers our phone 24/7. And so they can reach out and just call me. Do you want me to give the number?
Sure, absolutely.
It's 203-437-7955. And somebody will answer the phone and either get you to me or just put you on the schedule. And we'll be able to come.
And it's Flying Locksmiths, so it's easy to remember.
Easy to remember. Just think of Bill McMiniman wanting to fly.
Well, look, thank you very much, and I hope people watching understand that there are different ways to do something, even something that seems on the surface to be fairly prosaic, like locksmithing, or frankly, like home care. But asking the right questions and doing the right work up front really can help lead to a better solution. I'm Matthew Peterson. I'm the president of Homewatch CareGivers of New Haven. You can reach out to us for your home care needs at 203-646-8855 or www.homewatchcaregivers.com/New Haven. All this information should be beneath you on your screen. I look forward to working with you. Larry, thank you very much for participating in the Senior Partners Program, and have a great afternoon. Take care.